and finally Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella with 2 million followers on Twitter. This data was gathered 2 weeks before Twitter being acquired by Elon Musk. So as on the 6th of October 2022. Contribution of this paper. So this study contributes to a significant body of literature that firstly focuses on the environment of communication for listed companies. Secondly, focuses on investors' attention and their reactions to top executives tweeting, as we are mainly focused on retail investors and within the attention economy, so we try to focus on the investors' attention. And thirdly, explain how the utilization of social media by CEOs as the public face of the firm could influence the behavior of their firm's stocks. Theoretical framework, we are using here 2 main theories. The first one is the signaling theory. So, Rose in 1977 and some other authors established the capital structure signaling theory, focusing on the issues investors and managers might face in terms of asymmetrical information. Secondly, voluntary disclosure is necessary in order to compete successfully in the market for risk capital, according to Jeffrey in 2012. And finally, a good reputation with respect to financial reporting will improve a firm's ability to raise capital. And this is according to Stringenberg and Wilhelm in 2018. Out of this paper, we can notice good reporting would lower a firm's cost of capital, so less uncertainty about firms that report more extensively and reliably, and less investment risk and a lower required rate of return. This is regarding accounting and corporate finance. As we can see here, there is a figure that illustrates the signaling theory from the signaler to the feedback, as we wanted to explain that in our paper we're trying to explain the relationship or the effect, bidirectional effect between the social media activity of the CEO and the stock return behavior. So if we can see there is a volume, there is an increase in the trading volume of the company, that might impact directly the stock activity of the CEO or his exposure online. At the same time, if he's very well exposed online, would that impact the stock return activity of the CEO of the firm? As a second theory, we're going to be using neoclassical finance versus behavioral finance. So, efficient market theory hypothesis by Eugène Fama is based on 3 beliefs. First one, investors are entirely rational, implying that markets are efficient. Deviations from rationality are really random and as a result cancel out. And if they do not, arbitrageurs can profit from systematic irrational behaviors and so adjust mispricing. At the end of the day, the price will be readjusted. Second sub-theory, which is the behavioral economics, behavioral finance. So behavioral economists argue that investors are not completely rational, therefore investment decisions are believed to be influenced by irrational behavior and emotions. So in this case, we always think that investors are irrational. Behavioral finance also have implications for corporations. So it emphasizes the effect of market inefficiency on corporate policy. So assuming that executives act as rational professionals, it focuses on how a smart manager adapts corporate policy in order to exploit investor irrationality. Therefore, if we think that investors are irrational, we try to exploit that possibility of them being irrational by the CEO being rational to try and manipulate or to grab their attention in order to pass a certain message or try to influence their stock return if they have a goal or a vision at the end of it. Hypothesis development is going to be before the preliminary results. So increased levels of CEO tweeting activity might induce greater investor attention. To test for causality, we test the following hypothesis. The null hypothesis is no causality exists between CEO tweet activity and stock returns. H1 is causality exists between CEO tweet activity and stock returns. Second section of our paper is to test volatility spillovers from tweets to stock returns. We test the following hypothesis. First one, H0, no volatility spillovers from tweets to stock returns. H1, there exists the volatility spillovers from tweets to stock returns. The second part of the second hypothesis is to test the other way around, to test the volatility spillovers from stock returns to tweets, we test the following hypotheses. So, the null hypothesis is no volatility spillovers from stock returns to tweets, and the other way is there exists the volatility spillovers from stock returns to tweets. So in this case, we are trying to test the bidirectional impact of either stock returns on tweet activity of CEOs, or either by investigating tweet activity of the CEOs on the stock return behavior. Finally, we get to the preliminary results. Basically, we are still conducting some data analysis, and therefore I want just to present a preliminary result, which is a gradual causality test between each variable from tweet activity on the stock returns. So we divided our social media exposure into two measures. The first one, measure of disclosure, which is the number of tweets. And the second one is measure of dissemination, which is the number of followers, the number of favorites or likes, and finally the number of retweets. In this case, we found that there is a bidirectional gradual causality effect between returns and followers, which is one of dissemination measures. So we find that at 1% level, return gradual cause followers. At 1% level, followers gradual cause returns. At 1% and at 5% level, return gradual cause followers. And finally, regarding return and number of retweets, we find that number of retweets gradual cause returns at 5% significance level. Thank you very much. If you have any sort of question, please let me know now or at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. No, okay. Saad, are you reading Saad? Saad, are you there? Yes, we hear you, but you are pretty far. So, are you able to share your screen? Yes? Yes. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Saad Shandama. Today I'll be talking to one of the paper, which is a complete paper with the title The CC Top Executive Gender Diversity Effect on Age Dissimilarity, Power Gap and Farm Performance. It is a cross-country analysis involving the United States of America, United Kingdom and the European Union countries with the time period between 2000 and 2020. The presentation today we will talk about the significance of the study, primary objectives, main theories that has been used in this research, research contributions, methodology, main results, and we'll conclude with our conclusion. Why we decided to study the CC Top Executive Team. The CC Top Executive Team is the one which is fundamental for financing decisions. However, in our studies, in line with the current papers, we will focus on the chair of board of directors, the chief executive officer, and chief financial officer. So by the top executive in this paper, we will only focus on these three positions. Why shall we focus on top executive gender diversity? Currently, women in top executive teams, they are very highly underrepresentation of female executives. Despite the government's efforts to increase the female representations within the board and within the top executive team. Future Fortune Global 500, they can only report 2.6 female CEOs in the late 2020. And currently in Standard & Poor, we have only just over 8% female top executive in 2023. So you can see the importance on how to focus on the female representation, especially within the top executive management, not only just on the board of directors. The empirical evidence at the moment is still inconclusive. We have some positive results, we have some negative results, and we have some papers that they have reports no significant relationship between the board diversity, including the gender diversity and the risk-taking behavior. Theories that we have been used to conduct this analysis, we have focused on agency theory, stakeholder theory, and also we have combined the organizational hierarchy theory. In the organizational hierarchy theory, mainly it focuses on that the directors with similar attributes, they are more likely to share the same experience, they are more likely to have a better communication. For example, female to female, they can have a better communication, or males to males, or directors with the same age, they are more likely to have a better communication between themselves. But when we combine these three theories, this paper argues that if at least one female top executive within the C-suite top executive management, it will improve the relationship between age and similarity between the chair and the CEO. Their relation, the age and similarity and firm performance. So clearly we will only see that we are using the gender is a moderating effect on this relationship, just to test how this relation will state. A main contribution of this paper, it is the first to mainly focus on the gender diversity on the top executive team, not only on the board, but on the top executive team. And together with the age dissimilarity and power gap. And with respect to power gap, we have some previous studies that they have set standard on the measures of how to measure the power gap between the board of director, the chair of board of director, and the CEO. But in our paper, we have established new measures for the power gap as well. So this is the first paper, to the best of our knowledge, to combine the three theories all together in this aspect. The primary objective, we want to understand, does the C-suite top executive gender diversity significantly influences the association between the top executive substantial age dissimilarity and firm performance? And as well, we want to see whether the gender diversity will have any significant impact on the generational age gap and firm performance. And also we want to understand to what extent that the C-suite top executive gender diversity influences the association between the top executives' power gap and the firm performance. And from here you will see that we will focus on the age dissimilarity in two aspects. One of the aspects is and the other one is generational age gap. Generational age gap is the gap of over 20 years, from 20 years onward. between the chair and the CEO. Or the substantial age gap it is defined as the 10-year gap, 10 years but below 20 years. And from those primary objectives, we have constructed our hypothesis. The first one, the C-suite of executive gender diversity has a significant positive impact on the association between the top executive substantial age dissimilarity and farm performance. In the second hypothesis, the C-suite of executive gender diversity has a significant positive influence on the relationship between the top executive generational age gap and the farm performance. And the last hypothesis, which is hypothesis number 2, the C-suite of executive gender diversity has a significant positive impact on the relationship between the C-suite of executive power gap and farm performance. We will come to see afterwards that our results indicate to accept the first two hypotheses, but with respect to the power gap, we found no relationship between there is no impact of the gender diversity within the top executive management towards the relationship between the top executive power gap and farm performance. The dependent variables that we have used in this paper, we have used the Tobinsky, return on asset, return on equity, and we have used leverage. We have measured leverage of different measures according to the previous studies as well. And we have used independent variables, gender diversity, and this is the top executive gender diversity. If within the top executive management we have at least one female, whether the chair is female and the others are male, or whether the CEO is female and the others or the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, is female and the others are male. So if we have at least one, that is how we define the top executive gender diversity. Substantial age dissimilarity is the difference in age between the chair and the CEO, which is the age between 10 years and below 20 years. Generational age gap is from 20 years onward. And the power dissimilarity, we have used 15 different measures to measure the power dissimilarity. So this is the power gap, which is the total accumulation of power between the chair and the CEO. The method that we have used generalized least square multiple regression on panel data with farming observation of 19,402. We have combined listed firms, a combination of all countries, 4,943 listed firms. And again, we have run this model with two different aspects. The first one, we have focused on without interactions between the age dissimilarity and top executive gender diversity. And the other ones, we have included the interaction between the two and to see that what the result will have an impact. So generally, this is a short presentation of the results. You can see we have used or we have tabulated three different methods. The first one is a binary least square regression. The second one, GLS, which is provide the baseline results for our study. And the last one is the 2SLS, just to see if we have any different on genetic problems if arise. But our baseline result, they're showing that the top executive gender diversity, they have a really significant positive impact. We have determined that the top executive gender diversity not only have a significant positive relationship on farm performance, but also improve the negative relationship between the C-suite top executive age dissimilarity. If we look on this table, you can see both substantial age dissimilarity and generational age gap. They both have a negative relationship with the farm performance. However, with the interaction of the gender diversity, the age dissimilarity, and the generational age gap, you can see that the negative relations between the age, the similarity, and the performance becomes positive one, and even if it stay negative, but it becomes a very low negative. And you can see the power gap. It has the positive relationship between power gap and the farm performance. However, we find no relationship, no impact at all between the age, the gender diversity has no impact on the relationship between top executive power gap and farm performance. If you have any question, we decided that this paper concludes that the top executive gender diversity is very important for better performance. However, it is not just on numbers. It's always focused on the qualification of the top executive directors who are female, and as well they focus on the board female representation as well. But the optimal age dissimilarity, which age is the perfect one, or which is the optimal age, it's still a question to be answered. We didn't focus on that one, and maybe it can provide a gap for future studies. And this paper provides academic direct evidence on corporate governance, as well as stakeholders to make informed decisions, and enhance female representation within the C-suite top executive management. Thank you very much. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Saad. Thank you very much. Actually, we come to the end of this presentation. I think we are very committed to the time. However, we still have some few minutes for any comments from the people in the hall. Dr. Riham and Sabine there, do you have any questions, or we come to the conclusion of this session?
No, thank you. Everything is clear, and we can come to the conclusion.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you, sir.
These were very interesting and hot topic. Thank you. And they just delivered very clear, understand presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Saad. Thank you, Fahd, Goli, Zaina, and Khulud. As you can see from the presenters, they are from different countries. They have presented different topics, and some of them are in late stages of their PhDs, some of them are in early stage of their PhDs. Hopefully by next year we have papers published already. As you can see, the methodology we are using is to publish at least 3 papers from the thesis. So it's not just a PhD to have a degree, but everyone is committed to do 3 papers should be ready before the submission of the thesis. Those papers should be submitted for publications. Saad is actually now has submitted 2 papers, so which is very good. Khulud allowed to submit as well. Fahd still maybe a few months. Goli as well. Zain is still far, but because she's in maybe the beginning of year 2 in PhD. And as a conclusion from this, just to give you just a few words for anyone who wants to do research, or especially if you have some we can say معيدين or مدرسين مساعدين now, we have to do PhDs later. So the issue is to find a good idea. We can have lots of ideas, but we have to do relevant and critical research of these ideas. The idea could be new, brand new, could be old, but we have to use the new techniques. For example, the main aim for us is not to just publish, but our research should have an impact. Okay, so we should have a contributions for the not for the academia, but should have contribution from the society as well. So now we are focusing on the impact of the research on the society. The diversity topics, as you can see, we have different topics from different angles of finance and banking. Hot topics like ECG nowadays is one of the hot topics. CO, now we can see from research, not only talk about CH or similarity or power, or even as Fahd is doing about media communications, but actually the new types of research at the moment is about CEO beauty. So how beautiful that the CEO now has an impact on the performance of companies. So not only that, but actually the order of affairs of the CEO in the family. So if the CEO is number 2 or number 3 on the birth, how comes this affect the financial performance of the company? So I thank you again for my teams, and this must be part of my team, but I'm happy to have him today, and I would like to thank طنطا University again, the president, the vice president, and Professor Hani, Professor Osama. Thank you very much, and thank you for Rehab for facilitating all work until this moment. And thank you for the IT as well for giving us that, because I think we are the only people present online today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Shami speaking to you. Thank you so much about this cooperation between your university, Coventry University, and طنطا University. I would like to thank you so much about this session, and your team as well. It was very nice presentations actually. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, Dr. Osama, thank you again, because you are صاحب الدعوة, we can say. Thank you very much. And
Ahmed al-Masri, thank you very much for your cooperation. Always you support us in all our conferences, not this conference only, but the previous conferences as well. Thank you very much for your cooperation. And your team.
Thank you.
Now we are going to provide you appreciation certificate for Professor Ahmed al-Masri and his colleague.
So you should shake hands now, Dr. Osama.
We can have a virtual check hand.
Okay.
Okay, many thanks, Professor Masri, and your PhD candidates, the future PhD holders, inshallah, and wish them good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. So, this is for you, Goli. Thank you very much. And then Zaina, thank you very much. And then Khulud, thank you very much. And then Fahd, thank you very much. very much. And then last one, Saab. The sweet or the dessert should come at the end. Okay. Thank you, Saab, for this presentation. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for طنطا University. And hopefully, I wish you all good luck in your conference today. Thanks very much.